Hey there. Hello. Uh-oh. Y'all see the title, right? Ben of the Week got coronavirus. Ben of the Week has no. Well, maybe. Yes. But a long time ago. Welcome to the I Almost Died podcast. My name is Ben, aka Ben of the Week. And today I'm going to tell you about how I literally think I was one of the first people to get COVID. This isn't like some little clickbaity, like, hee, woo, like, kind of thing. I am 98% sure I got COVID, but in March of last year. And this is how. So, if you don't know, if you're not familiar with the whole kind of TikTok world, if you've just recently started watching TikToks or like gotten into that whole world, there is this convention every single year. It's called it's not called it's called Playlist Live. And basically it's this huge convention in Orlando, Florida that I've gone to for 2 years. Last year was like the last time I went. But it's super fun. It's basically like, think of it like, it's like camp, but like but it's all TikTokers. Like it's like every person on TikTok and like a bunch of YouTubers also all in one hotel for a weekend. And it's chaos. It is chaos, but it's fun chaos. It's so fun. Like actually like maybe my favorite weekends of my life happened at Playlist. Because it's just wild. Like you get all these people together, like everyone knows everyone, and we're all just like, it's crazy. Anyways, let me explain. You might be able to already piece 2 and 2 together. A giant convention and coronavirus in March of 2020. So let's rewind. Back in March, this was like I think the first day was like the very first day of March. So it started on March 1st. And this is when like people knew about COVID. I think there was maybe like 300 cases in all of California, but it was like everyone was joking about it. Like y'all remember like this, there was no lockdown, no nothing. People were like, coronavirus, so funny. It's got, what's it gonna do? It's not that serious. And like people were making jokes like, cause it was just so new and no one knew the potential of it. Like it was so bizarre. And so nothing was closed, there was no precautions taken or anything. Like when I went to the airport to fly to Playlist, no one had masks or anything. Like it was a brand new, like no one was taking it seriously because I mean like how could we have known that it would have gotten to this point? But anyways, I flew to Florida, which also had some cases. I think at that time they had like 100 known cases, but keep in mind, like this was at the start when like there literally wasn't even any places you could get tested. Like you'd only get tested like if you went to the hospital or something like that. So like if you had it, you'd probably just think you were sick and then like you wouldn't really know. So I get to Playlist in Orlando the very first day. It was so fun. This was my first year being a featured creator. So I was like super excited about that. I was also super excited to see all my friends. Like this is like the one time a year where all of my internet friends, like literally every single one, we all get together in one place and you can see everybody and it's so amazing. It's so fun. So I get there and the first day, I got there really early. Like no one was there, so I was like just sitting in this hotel by myself. And the way this like hotel works is like they just have like back-to-back conventions. So they literally had like some doctors convention going on when I got there, and I was like, huh? They're like beep boop 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 boop, doctor things, and like I was so confused and it was so weird. But anyways, I got to my room and I waited for people to show up, and all my friends showed up, and it was so much fun. And like, so the first day, I'm trying to think what happened. It was pretty uneventful because like I said, like no one was really there. Everyone really got there on the second day. But like basically the way this hotel works is there's this huge lobby, which is where you spend like 80% of the time. And it's just where everyone meets everyone. Like fans and stuff can go meet their favorite creators because like everyone will just be walking around and everyone passes. Like James Charles will like walk through the halls and like just be throwing freaking his makeup palette at people, hitting them in the head. Like all of this stuff. Like it's pandemonium. It's actually crazy. Like there's like I don't know how they're gonna do it in the future because like there's just crowds after crowds and like there's times when you can't get out of the crowds and like in COVID times, mamas. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I'm hoping they can do it safely. But anyways, so yeah, it was like it was this hotel and they have this big lobby where like everyone is. Then there's like a pool, which is really fun. And then they have an entire convention center, which opens up on like the second and third day where they have like panels and stuff. And I got to be on a panel. It was so crazy. I was so nervous and it was so random. I was like on this panel with all these like YouTubers that have been around for like 10 years and stuff. And I think it was like talking about like how to get into like being a YouTuber or something, and they picked me for the panel, and I was so confused because like I literally still film on my iPhone. Like all my YouTube videos are filmed on the front camera of my iPhone. Like if y'all ever want to start a YouTube channel, I promise you, I promise you don't need any like special equipment. All my videos are filmed on my front camera. Like the only thing you kind of need is like editing software, and you kind of have to learn how to use that, but that's literally the only thing. But anyways, they had me on this panel with all these people, and I was like, and there was like an audience and like mamas. I used to like sharp myself, like liquid sharp myself if I had to like present a PowerPoint in front of my class. Here I was in front of a panel. So that was terrifying. And it was like, this was like an industry panel. So it was like adults and like people, like business people and stuff like who like take it very seriously. And I'm like, hee hee, I edit my YouTube videos that I film on my phone. And it was fun. It was cool. It was an experience. And then I had another panel where it was like a game show. It was kind of crazy. We had to like balance brooms and all this stuff. And the audience was really fun then. Like, it was like, it was cool. Anyways, that's pretty much what Playlist is. And then there's like parties, like people have like Airbnbs and stuff. Oh my gosh, I just got a Trisha Paytas notification on my Apple Watch. Oh my gosh, Valentine's Day 2021. She just uploaded a Valentine's Day video? No way. Guys, thank you for watching the podcast. We're gonna go watch Trisha Paytas' video. I'm kidding. Anyways, imagine I just end the podcast halfway through. It's like a 7-minute episode because I just need to go watch Trisha Paytas' video. It's really bad, you guys. It's gotten really bad. I like have to watch her videos anytime I eat. Like I can't eat without watching her YouTube videos. Anyways, back to Playlist Live. So, I'm not gonna name any names. But at Playlist, obviously, before COVID, when you meet someone, you hug them. Like, well, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a hugger. Because sometimes, oh my God, you guys. Oh my God, wait. I'm having some fear. I'm having some trauma flashbacks. People would come and dap me up, and I don't know how to do that. I literally don't understand. Like, you just slap your hands together when you, like, meet another dude. Like, huh? So, like, I just hug everyone because it's easier, and I feel like it's more personable. People would come and reach out their hand to dap me up, and I would hug them. Like people I've never even met before, and I just hug them. And it's... Oh my God. And you know it's bad. Oh my God, the cringe is hitting right now. You know it's bad, because like sometimes like I'd hug them and be like, oh, okay. Like they would audibly say that. Anyways, that's actually terrifying. I completely forgot about that whole aspect. I have like I'm like very socially anxious, but only when it comes to meeting or saying goodbye to people. Like what if I'm just like with a group and I've been with them for like 10 minutes, I'm completely fine. I'm like, what's up? Like I'm talking, I'm having a good time. But if I'm meeting someone for the first time or even the second, third, or fourth time, for some reason it's always weird in my brain. I don't know what's wrong with my brain that it's like so stressful. Oh my God. And also saying goodbye is also really weird because it's like, I think the thing for me that makes it the most stressful is like you have to leave like a good first or last impression on people, because I feel like that's what is like matters the most. People are going to remember if like you were weird when, or at least this is just in my brain, but people are going to remember if you were weird when you like first met them or if you were normal. And that's why I like psych myself out so so freaking much whenever I meet people, because I'm like, what if I like sneeze, or what if I smell like a fart when I like come near them? Like, that is terrifying. So playlist, like, as fun as it was, kind of messed me up a little bit, because the amount of people I would just like instinctively hug, and then they'd be like, okay. Or I'd go to like dap them up and like do that thing, and I would like accidentally just like shake their hand. Have y'all ever like shaked your hand when someone goes in for like a high five or something? It's really bad. Oh my god. Ew, 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 ew. I wish I got COVID and it killed me. Like, literally, that's so embarrassing. Oh my god. Anyways. back to the story. So, like I said, when you hug people, you're close to them. And I was hugging a lot of people. Like, I think I probably hugged at least 500 people in that weekend. Which now, during like COVID times, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that is not good. But like, anytime like someone comes up to me, they're like, hey, oh my gosh, are you been in the week? And they like want to hug. Like, obviously I'm gonna hug them. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna drop kick them down the stairs or something. Like, obviously I'm gonna be like, hug, hee hee hee. Because like, I love meeting you guys. It's so fun. Like, when y'all come up to me and you're like, are you been in the week? I'm like, it's. Oh, I just screamed in the microphone. That probably just broke it. I'm so sorry to all the listeners. But no, it's seriously so fun. Like, I can't wait for like the next event where I get to like meet you guys. Literally so fun. But yeah, after the weekend, I probably hugged like 500 people. I'm not even joking. So it's the last day, and like the convention is done, and I'm like, I just have like half a day left in Florida before I go home. I ended up like going to Universal, I think, Universal Studios, which was really fun, really freaking fun. But when I got, sorry, the cringe just came back up again. It's like reoccurring. When I got back to the hotel from Universal, I noticed I was feeling kind of sick. Like, when you get a cold and it starts off like weird. Like, I felt really cold, and I'm like, okay, I'm in Florida and it's like 35 degrees Celsius, which is really freaking hot. I'm like, how am I cold right now? Why am I shivering? And like, I also felt really achy, which was really confusing, because I'd like all I did was walk around, which like, I guess, yeah. But also during playlists, you don't sleep. Like, during these conventions, you're so busy and you have so much stuff to do and so many people to see that like, I think I literally slept 2 hours every single night. Like, it was really bad. Like, I'm talking going to bed at like 4 a.m. and waking up at like 6 a.m. to get ready for like a panel. Like, my body was falling apart. So like, I'm sure my immune system was dead. D-E-D, dead. That's not how you spell dead. Oh my God. D-E-A-D, dead. That's really embarrassing. Oh, my flip-flop just like broke in half. That's fun. Anyways, I was feeling kind of sick, but I ordered Olive Garden, and I'm like, that'll cure it. Olive Garden will cleanse the soul, baby. It'll get my immune system going back in business. Now, I took a bunch of Dayquil the next day because it was time for my flight, and I was feeling like okay. Like, when you take Dayquil and it's like the symptoms are gone, like, deep down you're still sick, but you're like, I think I'm good. Now, in retrospect, knowing like what COVID was, I really wish I didn't get on that flight. I actually think I got a mask, which was like really hard to find because like this was before anyone was wearing masks. Like I said, like 100 cases in Florida, like maybe 300 in California. But now that we know, like there was probably way, way, way more because no one was getting tested. So I fly back to LA from Orlando, and like when I get back, I'm like, my throat was sore all of a sudden. Now, keep in mind, I wasn't coughing or anything at this point. I wasn't sneezing. Fun fact about me, quick interjection. Fun fact, I never sneeze. I never, ever, ever sneeze. I hold all my sneezes in. It's really bad. I don't know why this started. I think like the thought of mucus coming out of my nose like terrifies me so much. I never sneeze. This is the sound I make. I'm like I like hold it. And my mom was like, you're gonna explode your brain cells one day. I'm like, I'm not sneezing. You can't make me sneeze. That's disgusting. It's nasty. Anyways, I didn't have symptoms other than like a sore throat and chills. But I'll get into what happens next after this break. Okay. So, I get back to LA, and I don't know why I didn't just fly straight back to Canada. I think I had like a day layover in LA, and then I was gonna go back to Canada to see my mom and everything. So once again, I did Dayquil. Like, I just drank a crap ton of Dayquil the day before, or the day of my flight. And I like went to the airport, and I noticed there was a few more people wearing masks. Like, I'd say maybe like 1 in 100 people were wearing masks, which I know sounds crazy, but like that's like what it was. Like, still like there would be the occasional news article being like, strange coronavirus infects another person in like Southern California, but it was like weird. So anyways, I get on the flight, and I think I had a layover through Seattle and then back to Canada. And the flight went well, like no mass. But when I get back, like, so the COVID symptoms, I believe, are like fever, like flu-like symptoms, like fever, chills, sore throat, cough. I had all of them. I had all of them when I got back. Ugh. Like, if I like I literally thought this was my thought process, because like if I knew now, like, okay, so this was my thought process at VidCon and Playlist, all the conventions I've been to in the past, I always get sick afterwards. Like, people always call it like the VidCon flu or like the Playlist flu, because like just the mixture of like not sleeping and all of that afterwards, like you just always get sick. Like, there's no avoiding it. So I literally thought it was just that. Like, people, like, I think I even heard someone make a joke at Playlist. They're like, oh my gosh, I wonder if COVID's going around here right now. So, like, this is the strangest thing. So I get back, and immediately, like, I tell my mom when I get there, like, I feel a little bit sick. And keep in mind, this is before you have to, like, quarantine when you get back into Canada, which they literally put in place, like, I think a week after I got back, which is insane. Like, things just, like, skyrocketed, like, so much right after Playlist that, like, yeah. So I like, told my mom, I'm like, I think I need to get tested. And so we booked the testing thing, and it was for, like, I think, like, 4 or 5 days after I got back, which is insane. Because, like, in Canada, like, it is so hard to get tested. Like, I don't know if you guys realize how difficult it is to get tested in Canada. It is brutal. Like, here in LA, you can go anywhere, and it's like a free test, and you get your results in like 24 hours. In Canada, it's honestly like a week to get results. Like, at that point, like, you're like, what's the point? It's crazy. Like, it's actually insane. So it was gonna be 5 days until I could have gotten tested. And guess what happened in those 5 days? Like, they didn't even like mention anything about quarantining. Like, no one knew what to do if you got sick. Like, you would obviously like if you get sick normally, like, you're gonna keep your distance away from people, and you're not gonna like be too close to them because you don't want to get them sick. Like, everyone knows that. And I was doing that at my house. Like, I was staying in the basement, my mom was like upstairs, but she got sick and she had the same symptoms. So, like, I'm like, oh my God, did I give my mom COVID? Lord. Oh. But I mean, that's what I'm thinking now, because like back then, like I said, I don't even think it crossed my mind that it could be COVID, because it was like this rare thing that no one got. But anyways, like, the 4 days pass, and it's time to get the test. And at this point, my cold is completely gone. I have 0 symptoms at all. And my mom, she's like pretty much over her symptoms. I think she has like a runny nose when we go to get tested. Anyways, we go to this clinic, and this was one of the first like COVID testing clinics in like the country, because there was just like no one was getting tested, because like no one thought they had it. So like, it was really strange. Like, there was people coughing everywhere. It was this like enclosed, like, it was in this hospital. It was so weird. It's like, I'm gonna get COVID just from being here. Anyways, we got tested. It was like the nasal swab one, the one that hurts so much. Like, it literally felt like they were scraping my brain. Like, not that there's anything up there, but like, it hurt. Oh, it hurt. And we're like waiting for the test results. and it took 2 days, which I feel like is a long freaking time. And they come back and they're negative for both of us, which was really freaking weird. And here's why. So it kind of confirmed my suspicion that it was just like me not sleeping and my body just got sick for whatever reason. But the thing is, just a few months ago, like from now, I think back in December 2020, I found out that one of the people, let's call them Demetrius tested positive for COVID a day after Playlist, and I hung out with Demetrius for like at least 2 or 3 hours during Playlist. And I got sick. So how does that make any sense that I didn't get it, but I got sick but somehow I tested negative? Because apparently, after you get COVID, you test positive for like a while. Like I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks that you'll test positive. Like even after you're not contagious and all of that, like you still test positive for COVID. So how did I not get it? I had all of the symptoms. Literally all of the symptoms. It blows my mind. Like my theory, this is my working theory, is that I had it, but the tests were just like not that reliable because this was literally even before the lockdown, like 0 lockdowns or anything, 0 mask wearing or anything. So like I don't understand. Like if you hang out with someone who is positive for COVID for like multiple hours indoors, you're gonna get COVID. How did I not get that? Like what flu or something did I have? Like was it really just the Playlist flu? Did I somehow not get sick from being around someone who's positive? Not to mention COVID secretly going around under our noses in Playlist. I hugged 499 other people, took 4 flights, and went to Universal. Like, it makes no sense to me. I truly can't wrap my head around it. I really want to get one of those antigen tests where it tests if you've had COVID in the past, because that would like be interesting. But here's also like some evidence to maybe like say why I like might have gotten it, because like I've been really safe. I mean, I've been fairly safe about COVID, like, ever since then. Like, my circle's really small. I mean, it was small to begin with. Y'all know I don't have friends. I see 3 people. But, like, and, like, I always wear a mask, but I've never gotten COVID. Like, and I've had instances throughout the pandemic where people around me, like, I'd been exposed to people who tested positive for COVID lots of times, where also I probably should have contracted it, but I still haven't. Now, unless that's like, because I know you can get COVID. I think I heard like 1 in 3 people who get COVID don't have any symptoms at all, which is freaking scary, which is why you should definitely wear masks all the time, all the freaking time. And if you have the resources, get tested. But like, like, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like I would have gotten it by now by being exposed to it so many times. But if I got it way back in March and somehow had the antibodies, then like maybe I did have it. It's just crazy. Like, there's so many different like pieces to the story, or if it was like changed a little bit, it would have had like a complete different outcome. Like if it didn't take me 5 days to get tested and I literally was like didn't have any symptoms for like the longest time, who knows, maybe I would have tested positive. If the tests were actually like faulty and like didn't really tell you anything, or perhaps Demetrius's test where he tested positive after Playlist was like false, maybe that has to do with it. Altogether, it's just so freaking weird. I don't understand how, like, what that was. And the funny thing is, so I also thought I almost got it again. So after Playlist, I was like stuck in Canada for like 6 months. Like, the borders were pretty much closed. No one was traveling. And then I had to like fly back to LA for like some stuff But when I came back to Canada the second time during the pandemic, I my brain is shutting down. I got really sick, and this was what really scared me. I ended up having tonsillitis. That's all it was. Like, I got tested like as soon as I got back. I got tested before I left too, and it was negative. So like both tests were negative, but like I was so sick. I don't think I've ever been sicker. All my lymph nodes in my body were like so freaking swollen, and I was sore all the time. It was like really bad. It was really not good. And like I couldn't swallow anything because like my tonsils were swollen. I literally thought I was dying. Like, I kind of knew it couldn't be COVID because like none of the symptoms were like anything near what like you have when you had COVID. Nevertheless, I still had to quarantine because like when I came back the second time, that's when they had the quarantine restrictions. So anyone coming back into Canada has to quarantine for like 2 weeks. So like I was in quarantine regardless, staying away from my mom. But yeah, the test came back negative. Like it's just so weird. But I'm thankful that I've never tested positive for it. I've gotten tested a buttload ton of times. Yeah. Crazy freaking time we live in. I don't need to tell y'all that. Like, everyone knows. It's honestly been super weird because it's like I felt like all the kind of like talk about like mental health during the pandemic really like hit its peak maybe a month into the pandemic. Like when we were all locked down making like whipped coffee and it felt like summer camp, that's when it was like the most like, that's when the most people were like, oh, like make sure you take care of your mental health. But I feel like it's only gotten worse and worse and worse since then. But like that whole discussion about people's mental health is just not there anymore. Like, and I feel like a lot of people, like just going through Twitter, like I feel like a lot of people are like hitting a wall and like just burnt out like more than they've ever been. Like this is like the worst part of the pandemic for like a lot of people. Like we've been in this for over a year. Like that's insane. Ow, that hiccup hurt. Ow. Oh my God. So I just want you to know if you just like are looking at your life right now and you're feeling like this is like the worst point it's been in, I want you to know you're not alone. I guarantee you there's plenty of people right now that are really just like this is like the worst it's been for them. And I'm really hoping things get better soon. It's crazy. Like I did not think we'd be at this point in 2021 and have things be worse. I really didn't expect that. But just make sure you stick to your bubbles. Wear a mask, please. Yeah. Quarantine if you have to travel. Yeah. So that's the crazy convoluted story of how I maybe got COVID ? I really want to get one of those antigen tests, but it's a blood test and I'm just not doing that. I can't do needles. I can maybe muster up the courage to get like 2 needles a year, and I'm saving that for COVID. I can't get another needle. Like blood makes me pass out. It's really bad. We'll have a whole episode on that another time about all the times me passing out has gotten me into situations. So, thank you so much for listening and tuning in to this episode of I Almost Died. I love you so much. Thank you for all the support on this podcast. It's crazy. I've always wanted a podcast, so it's been super fun to be doing this. Oh yeah, make sure you tweet me your stories about how you almost died. I'm gonna start reading them very, very, very soon in just a couple of episodes. So tweet me using the hashtag #IAlmostDiedPodcast, or even post on Instagram because I know you can like post longer captions. Basically, just use that hashtag. I'll be checking it out and reading your guys' stories on the podcast very soon. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be a dear and go rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. I would appreciate it so much. Also, make sure you subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to it on, whether it be Spotify or YouTube or Apple Podcasts. I appreciate you so much. And I will see you next week. Thank you to my producer Daniel, as well as Annabelle, Andrew, Kevin, and Amy for helping me get this all together. Love y'all. And yeah, I will see you next week. Please be safe. Be COVID free. Stick to your bubbles. Wear a mask, or I will bark at you. I really want to make a video barking at people not wearing masks. It'd be really fun. Anyways, I love you so much. Take care. Bye, babies.